Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with you today with an article from Breitbart dated December 14th. It says, Report, Hamas inflated Gaza death figures, included natural deaths, cancer patients. This is probably like maybe the fourth video, at least, of me making of something like this. So, folks on the far left, if any one of you comes across this, hate to break it to you, but you've been lied to the whole time, and you probably should know that. But let's go ahead and see what this has to say, because I have already seen the information, just not in this particular article. I skimmed through this article, but I hadn't read the whole thing in full, but we're going to do that right now. It says the Palestinian terrorist group Hamas inflated the death count from the war in Gaza, including natural deaths and cancer patients in the data, and global media outlets faithfully reported the exaggerated totals to vilify Israel, because, of course, that was what was always going to happen, because that's what they do. So that's the conclusion of a new report by the Henry Jackson Society, which is based in the United Kingdom but named for the legendary Senator Henry Jackson, Democrat of Washington, a hawkish Democrat known for his anti-communist foreign policy. It says the report, questionable counting, analyzing the death toll from the Hamas-run Ministry of Health in Gaza, and that's a key thing that they say there, the Hamas-run Ministry of Health in Gaza, made the following findings about problems in data from the Hamas-run Health Ministry. It says original emphasis. It says men listed as women to inflate female fatalities. It says analysis of Gaza Ministry of Health, or the MOH fatality data, reveals repeated instances of men being misclassified as women. Examples include individuals with male first names, for example, Muhammad, being recorded as female. This misclassification contributes to the narrative that civilian populations, particularly women and children, bear the brunt of the conflict, potentially influencing international sentiment and media coverage. It says adults registered as children. Significant discrepancies have been uncovered where adult fatalities are reclassified as children. For instance, an individual aged 22 was listed as a 4-year-old, and a 31-year-old was listed as an infant. Such distortions inflate the number of child casualties, which is emotionally impactful and heavily emphasized in global reporting. These misrepresentations suggest a deliberate attempt to frame the conflict as disproportionately affecting children, undermining the credibility of the fatality data. It says disproportionate deaths of fighting-age men. Data analysis indicates that most fatalities are men aged 15 to 45, contradicting claims that civilian populations are being disproportionately targeted. This age demographic aligns closely with the expected profile of combatants, further supported by spikes in deaths of men reported by family sources rather than hospitals. This evidence suggests that many fatalities classified as civilian may be combatants, a distinction omitted from official reporting. It says inclusion of natural deaths in reporting. Despite the typical annual rate of 5,000 natural deaths in Gaza, the fatality data provides no accounting for such figures. The omission raises concerns that natural deaths, as well as deaths caused by internal violence or misfired rockets, are being included in war-related fatality counts. Instances of cancer patients, previously registered for treatment, appearing on war fatality lists further support this assertion. Such practices inflate the reported civilian death toll, complicating accurate assessments of the conflict's impact. And media reporting of combatant deaths. This analysis of media coverage reveals that only 3% of news stories reference combatant deaths, with outlets like the BBC, CNN, Reuters, and the New York Times primarily relying on Gaza Ministry of Health figures. And I'll interrupt here and say that because those are all far left outlets, and they all just believe the Palestinian stuff without any sense of discretion at it. It's just kind of, nope, they said it, it's true, and that's it. So it says, these figures often lack verification and fail to distinguish between combatants and civilians. The omission creates a skewed narrative that portrays all casualties as civilian, thus shaping public opinion and international policy based on incomplete or manipulated data. For example, more than 17,000 Hamas combatants are estimated to have been killed, yet these figures are largely excluded from global reporting. The report also notes only 5% of the surveyed media organizations cited numbers released by the Israeli authorities, which I'd say that's a problem and things are definitely skewed, as well 98% cited fatality figures by the Hamas-run Gaza Ministry of Health. Again, that is a very important thing to know. In 19% of media reports examined, numbers provided by Hamas-run institutions were used without citing any source, thereby suggesting those figures were undisputed. Furthermore, fewer than 1 in every 50 articles mentioned that the figures provided by the Ministry of Health were unverifiable or controversial. Strikingly, the Israeli statistics had their credibility questioned in half of the few articles that incorporated them, because of course they did, It says, never mind this. So the side that's generally telling the truth is the one being scrutinized, and the side that's run by a propaganda outlet is the one that everyone's just going, yep, they're true, that's right, whatever they're saying is correct. So it says read the full report here, and there's the link right here where my cursor is. And finally, it says Hamas also repeatedly lied about mass casualty events in Gaza, famously claiming that Israel had killed 500 people in an airstrike on a hospital. I remember that, and it's one of the things I made a video on, when in fact the hospital parking lot had been hit by an errant rocket fired by the Palestinian Islamic Jihad group, and there were relatively few deaths, 50 at most, according to later studies. Yep, so just remember, if Hamas is telling you about a death toll, odds are they are lying about it. In fact, I wouldn't say odds are, just go with they're lying, okay? So it's something you should know. But anyway, what do you think about this? Let me know in the comments below. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.